Hey, what's up? It's your girl Tamira, aka Girl from Harlem.
And this is Ray Daniels, aka the Culture Referee.
And this is the Guy Show.
The Culture Report. This is the Guy Show, the Culture Report.
Let him know.
Where Tamira and I don't interview people and do what we really love, which is talk trash all day about anything we feel in the culture. Nothing is off limits. If you're offended by it, then that's just your fault. Let's get to it. By the way, like, subscribe, share, post, everything. Let's get to it.
And we drop every Friday, this Culture Report. So, I don't know. I wanted to start off the episode like I usually do by saying I'm right, but
let's go. No. Let's start there. Let's start there. Let's start where you're
all right.
right.
So
I want to go there.
Last week we had a conversation about Scarlett, and we was talking about her blowing up, and you were like, "Yeah, she's not really blowing up. She's not blowing up yet. She's blowing up." Like we kind of got into a dispute.
I said she hasn't blown up, and but here's the thing. First of all, you weren't right. You just said something, and then other things happened, and then it started triggering that. In my opinion, but by the way, blowing up is measured according to the beholder. So, right, obviously she had the moment with Cardi B. So, like, let's look at what happened since we spoke. Okay. Cardi B posted her. Mm-hmm. Jadakiss came and, like, bowed to her like she's next. A couple of things. Busta Rhymes.
Met Gala.
Met Gala.
She went to the Met Gala.
Scarlett?
She wasn't she didn't get it right, but she got dressed and went to some of the parties and was involved
that's good.
in the whole thing.
Okay, I'm gonna say
they
Met
say
Gala
she went to the Met Gala, but I didn't see her on the red carpet.
I'm gonna say if they got her there, they are on it. They must have hired somebody in the culture to run that. Shout out to them. But here's the thing. It's a difference what a week makes. That's what I would just stress. I feel like, I think I said this one day where I said you might be right today, but tomorrow has to show that you're right. So you just predicted the future. That doesn't mean what you said at the moment might have been right. Because a lot of things, that's good, but a lot of things happened over the last week. I'm like, man, but here's the crazy thing. I actually like her. So it's not like I didn't like her, but I just know that when you say somebody's blowing up, it's like, I think she's in an interesting position right now because she's blowing up, not necessarily having a song that the world knows.
That's what we were arguing about.
Exactly. So it's like her profile is getting higher because she is, by the way, if you're listening, she is a female who's not rapping about sex in her body. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Look how everybody responds right now. She hard as hell. Mm-hmm. It's bro, I just want to make sure the female rappers listening understand it. It's not always about selling sex. Sometimes it's about selling you and what the fuck you do.
Yeah, so what does somebody, in your opinion, because I know, like you said, it differs. What does an artist need to have in order to be considered blowing up?
Well, let's talk about this from this standpoint. Let's use Scarlett as a
starting point
or a reference. Yeah, reference. You the college graduate here, not me. Let's use Scarlett as a reference. Her name is what?
Scarlett.
What does she have on her face?
Scarlett.
Ooh, very identifiable.
Mm-hmm. And there's a story behind it.
Very easy to find. The story is right there. That's what I'll tell people. So in order for you to blow up, you have to be consistent. You have to be known for something. So even if you don't know her name, you're like, oh, that's the girl. Scar. Oh, she had a scar. So to me, I feel like you have to, being an artist is like being water, right? To the average fan, it all looks the same. So it's like bottled water. It looks the same to everybody. But if you give it to me in a glass, it's free. If I go to a restaurant and say, give me a glass of water, it's free. If I get a bottled water, you're going to charge me. Why? It looks exactly the same. It's just one comes in a different package than the other. So I always tell artists, focus on packaging because that's very important. So Scarlett, her packaging is perfect. Ice Spice, perfect packaging. So when I look at artists, it's just kind of like, who are you? Period. It's funny. I'm going to tell you one quick story. I remember when Trinidad James started blowing up, right? My best friend, Slow, rest in peace, Slow.
You got to look to him.
Rest in peace, Slow. Slow calls me like, yo, it's this dude in the city. He popping, da-da-da. He got this song called All Gold Everything. He looked like everywhere he go, he got gold on, da-da-da. And I was like, oh, okay, dope. And he was so excited about him. And then I went to an event and I saw this guy walking around with gold everywhere. And he had a song called All Gold Everything. It just makes sense to the brand. So if you're an artist out there, as much as you want to focus on music, let's focus on packaging. I'm not gonna give away too much because that was like
pay for that.
If you got that information, if you took that little part and ran with it, if you ever see me, I'll just be like, yo, Ray, thank you. But if you take that and run with it, you won't lose.
All right, so speaking of blowing up, we had a conversation. Lola Brooke just released a new song, and I asked you to rate
Love
it
it.
from 1 to 10. Tell the people what you gave it.
What I give it, an 8 or a 9?
I think you gave it a 10.
Probably a 10 then, yeah.
You really liked it. So,
by the way, I met Lola Brooke. Shout out to her
when
manager,
did you
Shaw.
do this?
Shout out to her manager, Shaw.
It was out in Brooklyn?
No. South by Southwest. I met her. And, you know, she's like 5 feet tall, but she's like a ball of energy.
She reminds me of like Bobby Shmurda, but a female.
Because Bobby's a star. Bobby Schroeder's a star. But I remember sitting with Lola, and, you know, we just met on something like, hey, this is Ray. You should work with his guys. His team will give you a hit. And then I started an argument, and it was like Lola was like this little ball of energy in the middle of this huge room where all these conversations that happened, but her and I started talking, and then the entire room just came down on us because they was like, what are they talking about? Because we were so animated. So I remember hearing Shaw, I was like, yo, she's a fucking star. Because there's a such thing as talent and there's a such thing as a star. A lot of people are talented, but Lola Brooke is a star.
Oh, I like that.
Period.
I know that's right. Atlanta was taking over this weekend. Taylor Swift had a concert here.
And Janet.
If you were in Atlanta
Hold on. I got to do this.
I dare you.
I got to call her out.
Go ahead.
The woman who loves black people
Right.
led with Taylor Swift when it was Taylor Swift and Janet Jackson.
I'm going to go there. We're going to go down the
making
list.
sure you led with Taylor Swift.
All right.
I just had to say it because
The only reason why I'm even mentioning her, because I would not even talk about white people on this platform if I didn't have to. The only reason why she's being mentioned is because I was going to ask you, what do black artists have to do in Atlanta to get that type of reaction? Me
oh,
really
wow. Bad. That's actually good. See how she flipped it?
No, because the white girl came here to shut the city down, Marta, all that shit.
She shut the city down.
She shut the city down. Why can't black...
Well, because here's something you have to factor in. When they call music pop, pop is short for popular.
Never knew that.
There are more white people in America than there are black people. So
Isn't hip-hop the number one genre right now?
It is the number one genre that white people consume, but there are 500,000 rappers right now. And there's only one Taylor Swift, right? So the reason why is because Taylor Swift talks directly to her audience of girls that look like her and feel like her. So if you're an artist out there making music, you have to make music for people like you. And do I believe that there's an artist like The Weeknd's black and he sells out stadiums, but he makes music that everybody loves, including black people. Boom, there it goes. So if you're a black artist and you want to sell out stadiums, it's a long way to go. I mean, like, it's a long way to go. That's a lifetime in music, but focus on your audience and build with them. And if there's enough people in your audience, you can sell out stadiums.
Well, you're skipping my little agenda here, but since you bring it up, Janet Jackson, it was a big weekend in Atlanta. So the Hawks, I don't know how, in the playoffs. Janet Jackson spun the block with JD, Nelly and Ashanti are out here. Like, it's been a block season. So when we have these people who worked together and gave us this nostalgic music, and now they're coming back and reperforming these performances together, and then kind of leading us to think that they're back in this relationships. Do you think we could expect new music from these spin the block couples? So Nelly and Ashanti and JD and Janet.
Well, I think that certain artists get to a point in their career where dropping new music is unnecessary. I don't think Nelly, Janet, or Ashanti have to drop a new song ever again to make money for the rest of their life. Like, when's the last time Janet dropped an album? So I don't think we should focus on new music, but I do like the fact that they're giving people the feeling of, you know, that nostalgia feeling or that happiness. Like, I think it's weird. Why are people so interested in relationships and couples?
I think that it just reminds
and when I say people, I'm gonna say women.
Oh, you throw us in there. But the men, please. I be on IG arguing with these people.
Can I give you an example?
The men be arguing.
Can I give you an example?
Give me one.
I remember about 10 years ago, Chris Brown was pushing his artist, Seven Streeter. By the way, Seven is incredible. Love Seven. But Seven Streeter had, I remember, I don't know how many at the time, but Seven Streeter had a couple 100,000 followers at the time. And meanwhile, Chris Brown's girlfriend, Karrueche, had millions. Why? And mind you, that's not something that I could think men started. Men haven't started the interest in girlfriends. So why is it that people, like even if you look at it, you have these girls who are rapper girlfriends who are more popular than people who actually have talent. The Kardashians started it, by the way.
Okay, well, you answered your own question. I have no idea. I got chewed up this morning because I left a comment on Baller Alert and I said, but y'all still want to be rappers' baby mamas, and everybody chewed me up. And I'm just saying, like, that shouldn't be your goal. I don't mind if y'all have kids by rappers or whatever it is, but y'all coming out the gate trying to be rappers' baby mamas.
I think it's too late. I think it's too late for that. The girlfriends are taking over.
Yeah, because Ari and Jada are going to be at the Met Gala next year. I promise you that one. I don't know the answer to it, but I do want to.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it.
It goes back to social media. Now people are too accessible. We see too much of these people's personal lives. Before we knew Ja Rule or them had a wife, but we didn't know who the wife was. Now we see the pictures. We get to go to their page. They're living just as extravagantly as the rappers. So now people are saying, they get to live the same exact copy paste jets, private islands, touring, the same exact thing without putting the work in. So I think nobody want to work.
Let me ask you a question. I have a question for you. Do you think that there are more young girls in high school right now that want to be Ari and Jada, you said? Mm-hmm. That want to be Ari and Jada, or girls that want to be Oprah?
These little girls don't know who Oprah is. I promise you they don't.
Beyonce.
Okay.
You think
they definitely don't want to be Beyonce. Beyonce works too hard. They would not want to be Beyonce. If they looked at Beyonce as just Jay-Z's wife, maybe. But since Beyonce has to go work and build her brand and do and be on diets and be creative and put in actual work, they don't want to do that.
So can you answer the question?
What was it?
Do more young girls in high school
definitely want to be
rappers' girlfriends?
100%.
Or do they want to be
content creator type things? I wouldn't necessarily say rappers' girlfriends, but they definitely want to be like influencers, YouTube stars, vloggers, lash techs. But there isn't necessarily. All right. So to really answer the question, if you really, really, really want to answer the question, this all goes back to college. There's a whole generation of kids who went to college, who went into debt for college because we were promised that if we went and did 4 years of college, that on the other side, we would have a good job and we would be good for the rest of the life. And we would make $1 million more in our lifetime than those who did not go to college. And when we got out of college, it was a housing crisis. We were in a recession. We couldn't get a job. So that generation directly behind us watched their brothers and sisters go to college, make no money, end up in debt, back home at their mom's house. And they're like, I'm not doing that. So let me do anything else besides that. Black people got gassed into going to college to get a piece of paper from the white man to be into an institution, and we need nepotism.
I think that's an all people thing. But
white people don't have to worry about that.
Out.
White people come out of colleges and they get to go work at their grandfather's firm. They get to live with nepotism.
Well, I just want to say something. There are way more poor white people in America than there are poor black people.
Yeah, because they are the majority.
Hear me out. Point is that I don't think the college degree and the allure of a degree and a job is a black thing. I think it was the American dream. American dream. Yes. The same way a house is the American dream.
Yes, but
go ahead. Because
it's not the same. It's not the same. We could all get sold the same thing because that's what they push on us. But the reality is, black people cannot get housing loans. Black people are not going to get the job.
I'm a black person with a housing loan.
Ray, please play with me. Ray, don't do that. Don't do that. Because before you got in here, you would have never, before you made money in music, was Lorraine able to get a housing loan before you had any money?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. I mean, there are programs.
Programs. There's very few programs. So you can't get in first-time home loan. Yes, you can get into first. Okay. But then you got to have certain prerequisites in order to do that. A lot of black people don't have
I bought my first house with a 580 credit score.
How much money you put down?
I think I put down maybe like 5%. Because I didn't have a lot of money back then. I got
3.5 for y'all.
I think I might have put down 3.5%, by the way. I think I was a first-time buyer.
3.5 and 5%.
First-time buyer.
$2 million is a big difference.
No, the house wasn't $2 million. Let's be clear. The house was $160,000.
The fact of the matter is that we have different systematic things that cause different results. So even if we're all born and white people have the same dream as a black people, so their obstacles and their road to getting to that dream is completely different than what black people is. And that's why we have more people trying to not go the traditional route. That is the answer to the question.
So the answer to the question is there are more girls
Systematic
that want to be rapper
is
girlfriends.
The answer to the question.
I'm asking though. So are there more girls that want to be rappers' girlfriends than they want to be career women?
Yes.
Okay,
because
cool.
it's systematic racism.
I will make it no.
And the opportunities that are presented to them.
Now you go to the next one. Let's go. Let's get it.
Okay, so Hold on, because my heart is beating. Piss me off. The Met Gala. This is gonna be a whole nother issue. All right. So the Met Gala happened this weekend. Who were your favorite dressed, if you had any? Let's start there. Did anybody stick out to you?
I didn't see
Okay.
nobody. But
so
only person I
Tiana
did
ate
see
it
was
up.
Puff.
Rocky ate it up.
Puff killed it.
Puff did his thing. Yeah. So the big conversation was the people who got invited this year. So usually leading up to the Met Gala is a lot of fuss and noise and Met Monday and all this stuff. And we didn't really have this big lead up this year. I didn't even know it was happening. And then next thing you know, you got Rihanna, Rocky, Cardi B, Tiana. First of all, I want to say hip hop artists were not this big at the Met Gala a few years ago. So that's really what I want to talk about. The influence that we're having in fashion and it transferring over to this elite white society.
Okay. So
Met Gala tickets, usually you have to be invited, or a ticket is $50K to be you can buy a ticket for $50K. Okay. It started as this big, like high, very elite fashion.
It's by Vogue,
show.
Right?
Anna Wintour, yes. So that's Vogue.
Okay, perfect.
So very like uppity. For years, the Kardashians, who I like to say are very influential in fashion, all of them couldn't even get an invite. Like it was like maybe 2 of y'all could come, like very strict. So to me this year to see the I'll just be
Go
straight
ahead,
up.
shoot.
I don't think that Ice Spice should have been invited because it doesn't give her room to grow. For her to be doing all this stuff her first year, like we have to give people room to grow. Certain things have to be elite. You have to be able to do certain things to reach certain levels.
So I have a question for you. Do you think that's more a conviction of the Met Gala? Do you think it's more a conviction of Ice Spice? Because let me tell you why I say that. Hear me out real quick. Because if the Met Gala had to invite her, so maybe they're trying to reach a younger demographic.
Yeah, definitely. They're using us.
So that means
they're using black people in our culture once again.
They're using
to
youth.
keep themselves relevant.
They're using
because
youth.
nobody cared about the Met Gala, and the biggest headlines they had was us in our culture.
They're using the youth. See, this is the difference between me and Tamira. I don't think everything is race. I don't think everything is race.
Everything is race.
I don't think everything is race.
The ice cream flavor in the store is racism.
No, what you mean?
Black people only eat butter pecan, so they're gonna put that in the hood. White people don't have butter
I
pecan.
don't eat butter pecan.
Dairy. I don't know. I'm just saying everything is racist. Not that's too specific, but I'm saying like think about it. Why we got more corner stores and less juice bars in the hood? But anyway, that's another story for another day. What were you saying, Ray? I got distracted.
No. I was just saying that we have to. All I'm saying is this: is that I don't know if they used her because she was black, but I think they used her because she was youthful. And I think to be successful at anything, you have to be super intentional with everything that you do, right? So the Met Gala, having a young Ice Spice there was dope for them, because if you weren't interested in it as an 18-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid, now you're interested on it. It's a nonprofit, right?
I have no.
I think it's rooted in a nonprofit. So if it's rooted in a nonprofit, then you want as many people having eyes on it to bring attention to whatever the goal is of that nonprofit. So
I'm just saying, if that was the case, then why wasn't that the case 5 years ago?
Well, because time is everything. I think that everything in life is about timing. Everything in life is about timing. It goes back to what we said last week when you started with Scarlet. Last week I might have disagreed. This week I agree. Timing is everything.
All right. So another argument that came out of this was colorism. They were saying that Ice Spice is blowing up because she's light skinned. And I totally don't agree with that. Like, because Bia, who had a song with Nicki Minaj and does pretty well for herself, she wasn't invited to the Met Gala. So I really think it's based off of star
but Ice
power.
Spice is bigger than Bia ever was.
I agree.
So it is star power.
Yeah.
But everything is star power. Do you want to interview the homeless person across the street, or the person that works at the liquor store across the street, or the gun shop across the street? Or do you want to interview Beyonce? I'm pretty sure we're going to say Beyonce, because everything in life is about clout and star power. Everything that we know about, I don't care what brand it is, whatever it is, it's about clout and star power. We can never get away from that. I'm just happy that we're in a time now where what we do as in the black community is being quantified at a rate that makes us more money, right? Because all streaming is hip hop mixtape culture. It's the same thing. It's just, you just mixtapes and, live mixtapes and Dat Piff and all these websites where they would just upload the music for people to stream and save to their phones. That's all streaming is now. It's just mixtape culture. So I'm just glad that it's working out for us now. Timing is everything. We wasn't getting money what kind of money we getting now. And I also think that that's a huge problem because now that we get money, we're lazy and we think money makes us great. Greatness makes you great. Money don't make you great. There's a lot of people right now that make a lot of money. That doesn't mean that they're great. That just means that they're doing it in the right time. When Michael Jordan was in the NBA, he made $3 million a year for most of his career. Now, exactly. Now you got people who aren't even starting making $20 million a year. It's all about timing. We got to just stop giving it. We got to give it up to that.
So, just you brought up Diddy, so I want to go into that. So Diddy actually brought Young Miami as his date to the Met Gala.
Fire.
Caused a lot of conversation, but I'm getting to that later. I want to talk about one of the things. So he had Vogue kind of cover it. One of the things that came up in the interview was Diddy said that Sean John is the reason why streetwear is where it is today. Urban streetwear is where it is today.
Okay.
Do you agree or disagree with that?
Well, I'm not the fashion guy. I don't know as much.
But you watched it a little bit more.
No. I'm just being
you were in that era.
So let me give an example, right? So I know before Sean John, before there was a Sean John, there was a Fat Farm, right?
Oh, I forgot about
exactly.
Fat
So
Farm.
I know there was a Fat Farm.
I was going with
I
Fubu.
also know there was a Carl Kanai, and I also know there was a Fubu, but none of those faces of those companies are bigger than Puff. So it goes back to what I just said earlier about clout. Puff has more clout than the people that started those companies. So maybe Sean John gave it more clout. So I can't say if it was or it wasn't, but I can say because of who he is, there is a validity to it. Because people have been drinking liquor for the longest since beginning the fucking society. They've been drinking liquor with prohibitions and all the other stuff. But Puff made it popular. So are we going to say that liquor wasn't being sold, or are we going to say Puff made it popular? It's just kind of how you look at it. But he is someone that can say that, and you can't, like, completely dispute it for those reasons.
Oh, no, they ate me up on Facebook about this. They was like, FUBU, who else? Rockaware. They went back to Iceberg. The thing is that I think that he made it popular, but he didn't change urban streetwear. Like, he's trying to take way too much credit for that. Like, now you're pushing it because what made urban streetwear, like, niggas was not paying $500 for a Sean John sweatsuit. Like, that would have never happened, honestly. Like, right now, there are streetwear brands that could charge $1,200 for sweatpants because of people like Virgil. Because of people,
Virgil.
Yeah, Virgil, excuse me. There were other people that really elevated it, like made it into high fashion. Even Yeezy. We could say Yeezy.
I think it's about timing. I don't think no one was paying $500 for a streetwear t-shirt in 1998.
Somebody was.
In 1998.
Yes, somebody was.
I don't even know what was a high brand streetwear clothing line in 1998 that people would have paid $500 for a t-shirt. I give an example. When I was in high school, you didn't wear Gucci. You didn't wear Louis. I didn't wear that in high school, right? I don't know nobody that did, right?
I did.
But
we was in New York.
You was in Harlem. It's known for it, right?
It was not fake. Don't play with me.
Hold
my
on.
mother, I will call my mother right now. Don't play with me. My mother spent that check every Friday to make sure I was flying the key. Don't play with me.
So what I'm saying to you is that even with that being said, now kids are wearing brands. Gucci and Louis just wasn't something that even was on my radar of things that I can touch. My son, who's 14 now, feels like it's normal to him. When he got his first little check, he went and bought a Gucci shirt. Like, I would have never bought a Gucci shirt. So I think that, and I also, here's another thing you got to factor in. Because of social media, now everybody wants to take pictures, post it for the world to see, to say, look at me, look what I have on, look who I am. The same way when he said fake, you just took it personal. No, don't fucking, because in this world we live in now, people want to celebrate themselves. My thought process is, it wasn't smart. I can say that as a person that spent crazy money on fucking Gucci and Louis. Imagine in 2012, 2011, instead of buying, which I was buying $500 shirts, I put that $500 in Bitcoin. I probably wouldn't be here now. So because we have access to so much information, I just think that people are now spending that because they want you to see them like that. But I personally don't think it's smart regardless, but hey, what do I know? I'm just America's black father.
Oh, America.
Man,
so Kanye West was spotted out for the first time in a while.
In tights.
Right.
I don't agree.
What are we doing?
I don't agree.
That's your friend. That's your man. That is your superhero.
I love Ye, but that doesn't mean I agree with everything he do. And to be honest with you, but see, here's the thing. Just because you like someone doesn't mean you're like someone.
No, I agree. I'm not even saying, but my issue is the influence that Yeezy has on culture.
I agree.
Baby, this summer, all these boys is about to be out here in leggings.
And my thing is that those are the sheep. Ray Daniels has never been a sheep. I've always been a leader, and I always have thought for myself. So when I seen Ye in that, I'm like, okay, I wouldn't do that. How about this? When I see, and let's be clear, when I seen him in the huge overclothes and the jacket, I'm like, I wouldn't do that either. That's just me. Mm-hmm. So just because I'm a fan of his music and who he is as a person doesn't mean I want to be like him. Like that's not, unfortunately, that's not who I am. If I say I'm a fan of you, that's me giving you respect as who you are, as a creative, a business person, or whatever. That does not mean I want to be like you guys. And we should change that.
I'm just disappointed because I just feel like we know what Kanye is to black culture and black fashion. And this...
I want to say something. I'm going to tell you something. We have to embrace the people who are unafraid to try something different. Do I agree with it? No. I remember when Outkast came out. When Outkast first came out, Dre wore a Braves jersey and a Braves hat. That's Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music album. ATL Aliens album, Dre was wearing that, what's it called? The thing he had on, it's like, well, he was wearing that hat. That it was like a weird kind of cap. And I just never did that. When he wore the A hat and the A jersey, I did that. When he was on the ATL and stuff, and it's Nick Cannon wears it. It's a
turban.
Turban. Dre was wearing a turban. Exactly. He was wearing a turban. I never wore a turban. I was fucking 14 years old. I'm not wearing a turban, but I wear a hat. And I feel like we have to celebrate, especially black creatives that are unafraid to try something new, because we are the only culture that keeps each other in a box. And it is time for that to stop. We got to stop keeping each other in a box. I remember that's why I celebrate anybody trying something different, because that's what makes the world better. People saying, well, that's what everybody else is doing. Let me try this. And sometimes, most of the time, it doesn't work. But those 1 or 2 times it does, we celebrate them. But when it doesn't work, we got to celebrate them for trying. That's all I would say about Ye. Are you blank?
No, I'm just trying to
figure out how you want to say it.
So where does this box stop? Like where do we say, okay, that's a little too creative?
It should not.
Okay, so we love Lil Nas X outfit
that
was there. Since we don't have no boxes, Lil Nas X outfit was
yes.
Okay, just making sure we're
it was
clear.
It was his expression, bro. Let me tell you something about me. When you working with artists, art, bro. Like I'll give you an example. I saw a meme where they said to all the parents of high school prom kids, something like that. They said, when you were younger, when we were younger, we used to make fun of people that dressed like Pee Wee Herman. Now we dress our kids like Pee Wee Herman. Mm-hmm. Timing. Pee Wee Herman was a trailblazer for trying something new, trying something different. And it maybe took 20 years for it to come into fruition. But we have to celebrate people. And I'm just saying to you that we have to stop keeping black creatives and black people in a fucking box. It is not cool, because other races don't do that.
Oh, please.
Not like we do it. And here, okay, I'm gonna say that. Oh, I like that, because you're right. Because I know in the Asian community, they don't play about education. But the box that they're trying to keep you in is a box that makes us money.
They don't play about nothing. They don't play about gay. They don't play about nothing.
Whatever it is, they know how to make the money. They're moving their people forward. We have been in the same category financially with how much of America's wealth we've had since the beginning. I would love to look at our percentage.
Because we still have slave mentality.
Yeah, but and keeping somebody in a box is a slave mentality. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. We need to let people be creative, but I also think like there has to be some type of cap. Like I do not want to see Lil Nas X performing at the BET Awards, demonic, naked, coming down a pole. Like there has to be some type of. My thing
is that I don't want to see that either, but someone sitting next to me might.
Yeah, so you should be able to Google it and see what you want or go on YouTube. But for BET, main stage where there's no filter.
Okay, so let me give you an example. I was at the Grammys this year. I was sitting right there when they did that 50 years hip hop, 20-minute show. Mm-hmm. Bro, the older white guy sitting next to me, he literally said to me at the end of the performance, wow, you knew every word to every song. I don't know none of these music. So does that mean the Grammy shouldn't celebrate black music because it was older white men in the audience? No. We should celebrate every culture properly. And Hip Hop 50, and they killed it. And that was probably the best thing I've ever seen at the Grammys in my whole life. And I was right there front row singing word for word for word.
I'm missing a correlation here.
Huh? Yeah.
What does this have to do with Lil Nas X being naked?
What I'm saying is that you don't want to see it, but the person next to you might.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying is that when you're putting on events or you're putting on any kind of entertainment, you can't think about just the box black people fit in. I celebrate Lil Nas X for not living in the box. I celebrate him.
Speaking of not keeping people in the box, Missy Elliott is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She was one of my favorite people making music videos growing up. Super creative, definitely deserves it. What do you think about that?
Missy is one of the greatest artists of all time. One of the most. How about this? When she came out, nobody was like her, right?
No.
Now, because of Missy, we have a Lizzo. Because of Missy, we have a Nicki Minaj.
Well, what I wanted to ask you is,
okay.
what do you consider Missy? Like, is she like a rapper, pop? Like, what is everything?
She is a superstar. She's a superstar and one of the most creative geniuses to ever live.
Agreed.
And she literally came out, and in the world that she came out in, she didn't look the part.
Amen.
But she still kept it real to herself, and she inspired so many young girls that felt like her, unseen like her. By the way, everything wrong with I would say America, because I can't speak on the whole world. Everything wrong with America is just people that feel like they want to be seen and acknowledged. So my thing is that I don't agree with everything, but I'm okay with people being acknowledged for their greatness as long as there's greatness there. If it's an agenda, whole different story.
It's definitely an agenda. But why doesn't Missy come up in those greatest female rappers conversation as often as
Because I don't think she's just a female rapper. She sings, she raps. I mean, I think Missy Elliott sits in the category of one other person in history as far as black woman, and that's Lauryn Hill. They're the same. Like they're two women who are equally talented at two different genres and made classic music because of it. So celebrate her. Only thing, I think she's getting it before Lauryn, because Lauryn did one album. Missy has done a few, and she's lent her talent to a lot of people.
Okay, so you put a tweet out recently. I haven't done this to you in a while. You said the songwriter is the most disrespected person in the entire music business. Artists contribute one word or no words, then ask for a large cut of pub. You're going to sing this song for the rest of your life and get paid. Don't take from the writers. Pay them also. What inspired that tweet?
Well, if anybody doesn't know, I'm a music executive, and I close deals all day for people that I represent. And I know the value of writers because nobody goes to a concert to sing to a beat. Everybody goes to a concert to sing lyrics. Lyrics come from the artist or a writer, and writers don't get paid. The most egregious part of this business, the most unmentioned part of this business that needs to be talked about is how writers are taken advantage of. Period. If you look at an artist portfolio, for example, a successful artist, let's say if an artist made $10 million in a year, which is nothing in today's world, right? But let's just use that because it's a round number. If an artist made $10 million, probably max $500,000 of that is from publishing. And that's like me stretching it, by the way. That's stretching. So if you're an artist and you're making $10 million a year and the smallest part of your income is publishing, meanwhile, here's a writer who's making money only from publishing. Why are you taking from them? They give you a song. Do you know how much money these artists are making now? These artists are making $500,000 a night, $1 million a night, hundreds of $1,000s a night. That is one royalty check.
One of y'all better turn into an artist.
That's one royalty check for one artist. $100,000 is a royalty check for the year. That's just one night for you. Why are you taking from artists on publishing? Because you can, and it's not cool. And for me, dog, I can tell you this, a successful writer right now is still struggling to pay their bills. Successful writers, but average producer, below average producer is still making more money than a successful writer. Why? Because they live off their fees. Writers only live off their royalties. Producers live off their fees and their royalties, and it is wrong and it's not fair. And whatever label decides to start paying writers every song, I don't care if it's $1,000, I don't care if it's $1,500. Whatever label starts to do that will be the #1 label in the world, because that's where all the writers will go.
Free game. Brent Faiyaz turned down $50 million because he said he knows his worth. How you feel about that?
He's smart.
And he wanted to be able to have his masters.
He's smart. He's smart. A lot of these artists claim that they own their masters, but they really
don't.
Well, they do, but it's like the same way you own your house. You own your house, but if you don't pay the mortgage, they come in to take that motherfucker.
That's a good way to put it.
Exactly. So artists out here telling you they own their masters, they don't really own their masters, because what really happened was they took an advance out against those masters. So technically they own it, but if they want to take it to TuneCore or they want to take it to Track because they just want to make all their money, whoever cut them the check, they got to pay that person back with interest. So do you really own it? Okay, cool. So Brent Faiyaz is one of those artists that truly owns 100% of his masters. Shout out to him. Shout out to Ty. Shout out to PK. Shout out to the whole Culture crew. They're my guys.
All right. So before I wrap up, I do want to just take you to the Culture Corner, something that the culture has been arguing about this week that has nothing to do with
Culture Corner,
music.
I like that.
Thank you. I'll be trying to put a little spin on things. So one of the biggest conversations, just to go back, was, of course, Diddy and Young Miami being at the Met Gala. Miami had said she broke up with Diddy, and then they ended up going back on a date. But the conversation was the age difference. Why does so my issue is that when women date younger men, they're called predators. But when men, they are having heart attacks right now on the internet with any female. If you date somebody even 5 years younger than you, they be like, she out
old boy and Cher are dating. I don't think no one's called Cher a
that
predator.
Is a sugar mama.
I'm just saying, I've never heard that, by the way.
Oh, I could bring up.
By the way, that is created by women who live in the box. If I'm talking to one of my homies, if I'm talking to Braxton, and Braxton is like I like older women.
It's definitely women, though.
I'm not saying, what? Why? You crazy? Who cares? We don't get caught up too much in that. But I have never heard someone say an older woman is preying on a younger guy. They do it to
that girl, Brittany. What's her name? The little girl that go after the little basketball player girls, the light skinned girl.
Brittany.
No,
not Brittany Griner's gay.
No. Her.
You talking about the girl, Britt?
She's somebody baby mother.
Yeah, she got a baby mother from
a little kid that was in college or something. Yeah, they call her predator all the time, and it's I
think they call her in particular that because of how she moves and because of how she got her name. But even then, I still have never heard that before. I've never heard nobody refer to her as a predator. I do know Deion Sanders brought her to a college to talk to his students about how women are, but it wasn't about an older woman versus a younger woman as much as it was about how women are for athletes. Mm-hmm. I think women prey on athletes from a young age regardless. So I don't know if it's really her, but I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with people dating older people or younger people. Whatever floats your boat and turns you on, do that. As long as it's not hurting anybody or touching children, I have no problem with what nobody does. And I do think that I like the fact that Puff is messing with Young Miami. I think that youth and old should get together always because one matures the other and one keeps the other young. I don't think it's nothing better than that. Personally, I personally wouldn't want to date a woman older than me because I'm in a young business. Mm-hmm. So I want to date somebody. If I'm going to, by the way, I'm not dating anybody, but I'm saying if I was single and I wanted to go after somebody, I would want to go after somebody young that can hit me to things that I might not know about. So I think it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, just match made in heaven.
No, I'm just saying, I think it's a beautiful thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with, it's like Cher. Cher probably hasn't gotten that dick down.
No, you can't.
And I'm just saying, and just being honest, like they were dating. So, you know, she's in her 70s. He's in his 30s. He has a way more energy than guys in their 70s.
What does sex in your 70s look like? Oh.
I mean, I'm saying, whatever it looked like, she liked it.
I'm trying to tell you.
Whatever it looked like, she liked it. So my thing is that, and whatever it looked like, he liked it. Mm-hmm. So whatever it looked like, they were enjoying themselves. It just works. I think we get too caught up in what's happening around us rather than getting caught up in what makes our boat float. Like, I don't give a damn about none of them and who they're dating. As long as they're enjoying themselves, that's fine with me. I just don't get caught up in it. But it goes back to what I said about the rappers' girlfriends. There seems to be an interest in people's relationships from women that men just don't have.
Then who the fuck cares about AZ? Because
who's AZ?
Ain't that the one who's dating Cher? AE, whatever his name is?
I don't even know his name. So
exactly. But you know how we knew about him? Because he was Amber Rose's baby father. So that had the opposite effect. Because nobody knew who he was before he was Amber Rose's baby father.
I forgot he was Amber Rose's baby father.
Exactly. That's the only reason why he matters, because of who he's dating. So now you can't put that on women.
I'm not. I'm just saying, you just brought up who he dated, and I didn't even know. Because I don't give a fuck.
That's the only reason why we even know who he is, though.
No, I'm just saying, I know who he is because he's in the music business, and I'm in the music business. He worked at Def Jam. I'm saying I know him from that. I'm saying to you that I don't know. I don't, like, dog, I got friends right now. I'm looking at James. James has spent hours with me. I don't know who James is fucking with. I've never even asked him. Have I ever asked you? I don't care. I don't get caught up in that. For all I know, James is gay. I don't care. I'm not saying he is. No, hear me out.
No, I get it.
I'm not saying, James, I'm not saying you are. But I'm saying I don't care. That is not my business as a man. My job is not to get into who he's sleeping with. My job is to just be his homie, or in this case, he works for me. My job is just to be the person that he's building with. I'm not worried about who he sleep with. I don't care. I'm not judgy like that. Women are very judgy when it comes to who other women are dealing with and how they moving. It's just the way the world works. I don't like it, but it's just how the world works. I was really just trying to understand because you're a woman.
Interesting.
By the way, I don't even like saying their names. That's why, I don't even like saying these people's names because in my mind it's like they don't live in my ecosystem. I don't even care. Like, I don't care about them. Because they don't give a fuck about me. So why am I saying their names? But since we're talking about it, let them live their life. It works. Everybody happy.
All right. So in close, I'm gonna ask you, what are your favorite breakup songs?
My favorite breakup song. I don't know. I don't really know a lot of breakup music. I did a breakup song. We did this song for Sierra and Nicki Minaj called "I'm Out." Have I been a part of any breakup song? I don't know. Where's a good breakup song?
Beyonce, Irreplaceable. That's my
Irreplaceable is a
it
breakup?
depends on
Okay.
It depends on what's going on. Like if you left me or if I left you or what's happening in the situation. Like
Irreplaceable is good. But see, here's the thing. I don't do men do breakup songs?
That's why I asked. I'm pretty sure there's a man breakup song out in the world.
Here's why this show works. Because the things Tamira care about, I can give a fuck about.
Oh wait, I gotta tell you something.
And the things that I care about, she can give a fuck about.
Wait, you was right. I gotta tell you something.
I
gotta tell you something. I don't want to look at the camera.
Tell me.
Tell you something. You was right about something.
What?
Last week when I went to the club and I went to R&B night for research purposes only, none of the men sung "I'm Going Down," Mary J. Blige. So I guess the men don't sing R&B. Songs by women.
Men are different, man. We are different. We don't get caught up in certain things. Most of us are. Some men, I don't want to put men in a box. There might be a man out there that loves "I'm Going Down." You might not have saw him. I'm just saying, me personally, I don't feel comfortable singing female R&B records at all.
"End of the Road" is a male breakup song, I guess.
That was?
Although we come to the end of the road, no. But we
Can I be honest with you? That tells you crazy. I always thought "End of the Road" was a song about death. It was always referenced in death. Funerals.
Oh no, y'all are so sad.
No. It might be a breakup song. But I'm saying.
Oh, we had to go watch the video. Maybe they'll tell us. I thought it was like, although we've
hold
come
on.
to the end of our road.
This man Jordan just said he thought it was a retirement song.
I was trying to ignore that.
What?
I didn't think I really heard that. I don't think people make retirement music.
And now "End of the Road" is a graduation song. But I didn't realize that it was a breakup song until you just said that. I only thought about "End of the Road" when it was death.
I thought Bone Thugs and Harmony is like the
Crossroads
only
is a death song.
Yeah, that's a death song. And then the Mariah Carey song.
Oh, I know a death song, a breakup song. A guy, Enon, he had this song, "Fuck you, you bitch, I don't want you back."
Yes, that was a good one.
But that shit is feminine as fuck.
And y'all scream that at the top
that
of
is
y'all lungs.
No, I don't.
Not y'all, but not
that's
you.
Feminine.
I don't see race.
That's feminine for a man to say that.
Fuck you, bitch, I don't want you back.
Yes.
Alrighty then. Well, we know how to make new breakup music. So
Yeah,
anyway.
we need. I mean, but here's the thing: do people really want to celebrate breaking up?
Yes, we loved Mary J when she was sad. We love Keisha Cole when she was
Sad
sad.
and breaking up is different.
Sad and breaking up is the same thing.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You could be sad because he broke your heart. That don't mean he leaving. That don't mean you leaving.
No, we
him.
liked Mary when she was going through her divorces. We didn't care. We hated Mary when she was happy and in love. We loved Mary when she was breaking up and going through her shit. Oh, Chris Brown definitely has a lot of breakup songs. Say
Brown?
Goodbye is literally the name of the song.
And that's literally one of my least favorite Chris Brown songs of all time.
I love that song. Jagged Edge got a song too. When they went away to the army. No, that wasn't. Okay. The video, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, so you guys, this is the Culture Report. We're gonna do this every Friday. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe,
And by the way,
share.
and I encourage everybody to leave comments on YouTube, telling us what you would like for us to address.
Yes.
Leave comments on our Instagram. Leave comments on the God Show Instagram. Whatever you do, leave comments because we would love to talk about subjects that you think should be addressed. Because that's what the Culture Report does with the Culture Referee and a girl from Harlem.
All right, guys.
Let's
Thanks
get
so
it.
much. See you next week.
All right, bet. Yeah, of course.